say. But here we know Kevin and here we know people. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about part 3 of the Rural School Bus Initiative. All of the people in Jamaica who called me today, waiting for this segment. Here it is right now. We gave you a treat, with the beach access because the lack thereof affects every single Jamaican. Every single Jamaican. And that was a treat. For those of you who didn't know that, we don't have access, and it's based on a colonial law, the Beach Control Act of 1956. And we've been hearing promises from all kinds of people, including the Prime Minister, Kevin, including the Prime Minister. But it's a promise that it's a little bit too late because it's coming around right on the, right on the heels of an election. It's coming.
The cost, yes.
On the cost, yeah. And so we are saying, no, you make too many promises and you don't fulfill them, and we don't trust you with this one. And you have the power of the pen that you can go in and make the change right now, even under the Beach Control Act. There are things that he can do to loosen up the system so that people can have access to really good beaches. Instead of saying, we're going to upgrade 10 beaches, 13 beaches, 50, whatever the number is. They're upgrading it for you. They don't want you to have access to the really nice beaches that people from outside can come and enjoy. So we're going to leave that subject for now, and we're going to turn now to another one where the Jamaican people are getting screwed again. We're going to talk about that one. And that one, we go from a denial of access, right, to a denial of services, because the children are supposed to ride those buses for free. And we have the Prime Minister saying, yes, the children are going to ride for, in fact, you know what, I think we have it, Kevin. Listen, the one about don't
lie to children.
Don't lie to children. All right. Let me see if it there. Don't lie to children. Oh, wait there, Kevin. See there. Folks, listen to this. Listen to this.
You're going to get 7 school buses that will be serving some of the remote areas of the parish. And I'm certain that the children of this parish will be very happy to be able to use those buses. And of course, those buses will be free of cost to them in terms of bus fare. Those buses will be free of cost to them in terms of bus fare. Those buses will be free of cost to them in terms of bus fare.
Schoolers only. $50 each way. 100 Jamaican dollars per day per student.
Here's another one, folks.
$50 in the morning and $50 in the evening. It will only cost the parent $100 per day. In addition to that, the government is not cancelling the park buses. The park buses will still run. So the park buses will run and the new rural school buses will run, giving an ease and a break to the poor people, and the children will come to school more often because now they can afford the bus fare to come to school. That is a government that is working for you. That is a government that you must choose. And that is why we say choose the Jamaica Labour Party and choose Jamaica. We want to invite the people to examine the bus. Look.
Now, folks, I reached out to Bobby. I said, Bobby, come on now. I know he wasn't going to respond. In fact, I tell him, there's no need to respond to him. But I said, you see what's going on here, folks. The Prime Minister is saying free bus rides, at least in St. Thomas. And we know him can't say it's only free in St. Thomas, but you have to pay for the other parish, in the other parish. Absolutely no sense. So they're making it up as they go along. But the one thing we know, though, they're not making it up to benefit the Jamaican people. They're making it up to benefit themselves. Because remember that we showed you when you make the allowances for everything, salaries and maintenance and this and that, there is a surplus of, I think it's 28 million US dollars. And nobody's talking about where that money is going to go. Nobody is talking about it. And it reminds me of this.
I've always said to people, do not trust the words of politicians. Do not trust the words of politicians.
Play it again, sir. Play it again, sir, please.
Okay.
I've always said to people, do not trust the words of politicians. Do not trust the words of politicians.
Now, with that as a backdrop, we're going to talk to you about the words of people that you can trust. And we looked at this story from many angles. And you don't even have to think about it. You can just start from procurement, you can start from the type of buses, you can start from environment, you can start from the Constitution, you can start anywhere. And you're still gonna end up one place, and that is, it does not add up. Doesn't. No. This past Wednesday, and we're going to talk to you about the words of somebody that you can trust, right? This past Wednesday on the program, and we're just freestyling right now, and it's round 3, and we still have brand new information to talk about. Now, a gentleman came on the program this past Wednesday, and he said, "Listen, I don't know where you get this idea from, about a bus costing all of that money, because guess what? My brother got a bus, man. And he got the bus for free." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Yes." And I thought it was maybe he was just embellishing the story, but it was not an embellishment. Since then, we have found out that there are several school districts in the United States that will give you buses under certain conditions. I'm going to call the gentleman now and have him talk to you about how he was able to get the bus. Because me want for my bus, and I want to bring it to Jamaica and give it to the people. Hold on one second. Brother. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the gentleman who obtained that free bus. I don't want to call no name.
So you couldn't plug him in, Rebel?
Yeah?
You couldn't plug him in.
All right, that's what Jeffrey has shown me. But hold on a second, sir. Hold on. No. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. And people, I have a picture of the bus, and I have a picture of the title. And I'm telling this gentleman that wherever they're giving away these free buses, and I am going to get one. And I'm not going to sell it. And I'm encouraging all of the members of the diaspora to either get a free bus or let's pool our resources and get some buses, because these buses, they sell for $3,000. Go ahead, Kevin. You want to say something?
Getting these buses from the US?
Yes.
To use in Jamaica?
Yeah?
To use in Jamaica?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hold on. Let me see something.
I should blind the blind people.
Hold on. You can't hear me? Yeah. Oh, you can't hear Kevin?
Yeah.
All right, sir. Good evening and welcome to Reason with Rattigan. We're going to hold a reasoning with you right now, because this sounds so unbelievable that it must be true. Because I don't think your brother would have come on a program like my program and try to mislead us as the politicians are doing. So I don't want to call your name or anything like that. What I'd like you to do is And I don't want to ask any questions that you might lead you down a path where you don't want to go. So I'm going to leave it open. Your brother and I've spoken to you since, but your brother indicated to us that you are the recipient of a free school bus. Please tell us about the circumstances that led to that, sir.
Well, good evening, everybody. Well, I have a good friend of mine work with a school company, and they're changing out the buses. And they offer me 3 buses, and I only accept 1.
They offer you 3 school buses, and you took 1.
Yes. 3 2010 school buses. I only take 1 because.
Can you? Are you looking at the screen? Can you see us?
No.
All right, because I want to put up the school bus, you know, that you say you got, you know, and I'm looking at it, and I'm telling you, I forget one of them buses, I know, brother. Here's a bus.
They offer 3 to me, and I only take 1 because I didn't really have use for them. You know, but after I start hearing about the school bus saga in Jamaica, and then my brother talk and decide to contact you, and then from there. But they were offering to me for free. They even towed it to my place.
They towed the bus to your house?
Yes, they didn't even allow me to come for it.
No, that is a nice looking bus. I now stop till me get one, you know. And I'm encouraged. I tell you what, there's a virgin of mine in Florida who wrote to me. I mean, you might listen to the program now. He wrote to me and said that in his school district, they give buses away, but you just have to have certain requirements, but they give these buses away. And I'm hearing it from people all over the country that in certain districts, you can get these buses for free.
And those who are not giving it away, selling it for very little.
Give us an idea of the price. Give us a price range for the ones that you have to purchase.
$3,000 to $10,000. I mean, up to 2013.
Wow. Up to 2013 bus. $3,000 to $10,000. Now, you said something to me a few days ago when we had a conversation that I found to be remarkable and in the spirit of being a patriot. Tell the people them where you say you want to do with this bus based on the initiative that we want to start around here.
I'm donating it.
You're donating this bus to Jamaica?
Yes.
Is this bus in working condition, sir?
In perfect condition. It wasn't put out of service. It was taken out of service because they want to update
the fleet.
The fleet, yes.
My goodness gracious.
So let me ask this. How much will it cost to retrofit this bus for proper service in Jamaica?
Thousands of them all over the place. That's, you can acquire for very little.
Yeah, but to retrofit it, because we have to make it readily available for use in Jamaica.
Why that price tag? They put those kind of price tag on them, on the taxpayers.
Because it's you know, for me, it's all good and well. Yes, we can do this, but we need to go a little bit further. We need to go a little bit further with the thought process and the application, because now these are vehicles that are left-hand drive vehicles with the door on the opposite side. So we need to make it practical.
I'm not hearing you guys.
Yeah, you can hear us?
Okay, he's hearing you. Will, he's hearing you. Okay. So you can relay my question.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Kevin. Kevin is asking about retrofitting the buses. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, how much does it cost to retrofit this bus here? Do you think, to move the door to the other side?
About $7,000.
$7,000 to retrofit it.
$7,000, yeah.
Right. And I've been told that these buses cost about $5,000 to ship. So that's 7 and 5, 12. I don't do much like certain people in parliament or certain people in government. 7 and 5 is 12, right?
I think 7.5 is 80.
7 and 5 is a new 80, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, this, and then people keep in mind too, you know, these buses, you know, you can bring them in and you can retrofit them to do a host of things. You can bring them in and they don't have to even be school buses. You can bring them in and they can be libraries. They can be trucks to serve the food to the children. They can be mobile nurses station. Right, there are so many things you can do with these buses. And what I'm confused about is that we see where the government has purchased buses similar to this bus. And when we look at the invoice that the government apparently received, says the maximum we see is $20,000. But keep in mind that they're saying that if you divide 110 into 1.4 million and you convert that, it comes out to approximately 80,000 US dollars. Now we know the minister said that, well, you know, you have to purchase the vehicle, overland shipping, sea freight, government concession, or government, there's some kind of tariffs that the tariff you have to pay. Then he's talking about the maintenance contract, all of this stuff. They don't come up to $80,000. They don't. And we already show that when you operate the buses, based on the numbers that we have received, that there's going to be a surplus on the 110 buses of approximately 28 million US dollars. And we don't hear how the government is going to utilize that funds. And also we hear what the Prime Minister said, free ride. And then we have 2 MPs, including the one responsible for this, saying, no, you have to pay $100. And he said something, we played it last week, we went play today about Miss Matty, saying Miss Matty, instead of getting like 2 children on the bus or 1 child on the bus, no, because it's subsidized, she can send 3 or 4 children. No, look, like I said, I don't know any Miss Matty in a country with 6 picnic who can afford $400 a day. So what we need to have the minister pay attention to is not Miss Matty picnic, no. Is Miss Ratty picnic. Me. We want the minister to pay attention to Miss Ratty picnic because him are the one who are going to hold them responsible and make them know say there are things going on here that just don't add up. Mr. Jeffrey Tavares, say a few words before I pass it back to Mr. Kevin too, because we have some serious things we have to show today. But before you do, you have a question for the gentleman?
My question is to the gentleman is this. Can he get some more where Jamaicans in Florida or wherever can help to ship them back to Jamaica? Because we need to show this government, you know, that what they should have done in the beginning is approach the Jamaican diaspora. Because you come to us for money. We don't want money. We don't want people for money. So why didn't you come to us about these school buses?
All right. It can't hear you, Jeffrey. It can't hear you. So I can just...
I can hear you now.
You can hear me.
Something here.
Yeah, Will. So you are going to have to relay the question.
Right. Or just take the thing off and just have the phone by the microphone and then have him just say, hold on, I think that's probably...
No, because he still wouldn't be able to hear anything that we are saying.
Okay. All right. All right. No, sir. Jeffrey was just talking about the diaspora saying they're coming to us and you know, Jeffrey, that's a good point to raise. You know, that's a good point to raise with the diaspora. Kevin, it's hard for me to navigate between these screens here because you know, Mr. Crooks having things set up in our way, too professional for me. and I'm trying to
Where
get,
you want it? Where
I'm
you
trying
want
to
it?
get this up there because I want to bring up the diaspora policy. I want to bring up the
Okay.
diaspora policy. Um, since the idea is that why aren't they working with the diaspora? And by the way, people, the initiative, I will go and refine it. The initiative that we're talking about is that, and this gentleman's brother mentioned it, so we can get a convoy and we can drive down to Miami. What we would like to do is we're going to send a letter. I send a letter to the government, and we want the same concessions that the ministry received. Okay, thank you, Kevin. So it's not like we're going to pay for the shipping. No, we buy the buses and we'll drive them to Miami. But we want, before we buy any bus or shipping or driving the bus down to Florida, we want it in writing, the same way they give Minister Vaz it in writing. Let me show you.
But hold on. Here we come back to the question that I was asking before. What is it going to end up costing to retrofit these buses for use in Jamaica? Because is it worth it? Can we go to somewhere that using the vehicle ready to use in Jamaica?
We can arrange that, Kevin. Because look, when you go to one of these places, right, as the ministry did, and you have to play this. There's another video I have to play. And you said to them, I go and buy 10 buses. But here's how I buy the 10 buses now. If you said to him, they're selling one bus for $6,000. You said to him, look, if I come and I want to buy that one bus from you for $6,000, if I offer you $5,700, you'll probably take it if it's a 2010, 2011, 2012. You'll probably take it, but I'm buying 10 from you. So we're not going to pay $6,000. And here's what I want in that deal. You see all the technology, and most of these buses come with technology already, the cameras. But the tracking technology, that technology is cheap. And so the only thing we're talking about is to move the door, right? Move the door. And to move the door, that's not that difficult, especially when you're buying 10. But these dealers, they'll find somebody to move the doors for you on the cheap because they want to get rid of those 10 buses. Somebody's showing up buying 10 buses that a lot of people wouldn't buy. But let me show you something, Kevin. Let me big this up there. Because you're asking, Jeffrey was asking about the diaspora. No. Oh, let me show the people. This is the government's diaspora policy. They were so proud of it. Them run out, like it talk out of style and say, all right, see there is a national diaspora policy. And this governs how they operate with us, the Jamaicans living outside the country. And let's just go to page 8 and show you something. And there's so many pages I could go to right inside here, but time doesn't permit. Here it is right here. You see that, Kevin? Let me see if I can get in the center of the page. It's only jumping up and down. All right, hold on.
All right, allow me, please.
All right, go ahead, sir. I just want to show the people. Yeah, down. All right, stop right there. You're going too far. Up.
Just this section here.
Stop right there. And let me just big it up here. See that, people? Take it down one. That's it, Kevin.
All right, there you go. All right, hello. Let me help you again.
Help me again. All right, see, people? It says, in the policy, it says facilitation of the diaspora's partnership in national development processes. Now, why is it they didn't come to us and say, listen, we want to help our people in the rural parts of the country, the children, the future of the nation. And so we want to enter a partnership with you guys. Purchase some of the buses, we will help with the cost, we will help with this. Why didn't they do that? recognition and facilitation of diaspora institution and networks. Don't they know we exist? Facilitation of enabling environments for diaspora contributions. That's a contribution. Why didn't, and this is, I'm telling you people, this document is riddled with all kinds of themes like this. And yet the diaspora was not allowed to participate in this venture to help our own people. Was not. Now, look, like I said before, there's so many ways we could go with this topic. Bring me down, Kevin. So art, here we go. Let me show you something here, folks. A quick video. We're jumping all over with this topic, you know. Where is it? Where is it, Kevin? The one with the guy, one where they're selling the videos in Pennsylvania. I don't see it here. See if we can find the one.
You said that they're selling the videos in Pennsylvania?
No, the buses in Pennsylvania. There's a video. The auction. Look in the WhatsApp.
Okay. You go ahead. Let me try to find this.
Yes, people. And we are going to go back to some of the interviews the minister did. I mean, there was so much nonsense in them that, oh, here it is. Is it this? Is it this?
Yeah.
That's it. All right, click on that one, please. Can I move this? Forgive us, people. Forgive us. I think this is it.
Yes, that one.
People, take a look at this.
So $9,000.
We mostly sell school buses, but we do sell.
Somebody said, bus off a bus off a bus off a bus off a bus. Them not saying nothing. So
Jail.
Sell some transits and some shuttle buses as well, some coaches. We sell for some of the biggest school bus contractors in the country, as well as some of the biggest school districts in the country as well. Conditions, some of them come right off of routes, where just a week ago they were hauling school students, broken, running, it doesn't matter the condition, we can sell it. Bus auction, we can sell buses in any part of the country. Our home location is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We have 6 auctions a year. We are one of the largest bus auctions in the country. The live auction is a no reserve auction.
You hear that? The live auction is a no reserve, meaning that they don't have a minimum that they have to reach before they sell the bus. Whatever you bid, if your bid is the highest bid, you get the buses. And if you show up there representing Jamaica and you let the auctioneer know, I am here to buy 30 buses, some of those buses probably not 30, 110. They might not even get on the auction block because you can strike a deal before then. That didn't happen. We don't think.
Which means the vehicles will sell regardless of price. Yeah, outside of the live auctions that we have here at our home location, we do conduct auctions at different locations around the country. The online auction is a reserve price, it's a reserve bid auction. To list the bus online, there's no cost to the seller. The only time that there would be a charge would be as if we went to your location to get the information. So if the seller opts to get the information himself, gather the information for the buses, we have a packet of information that we send to you. There's the quick reference sheet that guides you through how to take the photos, what angles to take, how many pictures you need. And then there's also a condition report that is easy to follow. You basically just fill in the lines, fill in all the information that we need. You want to be sure you tell us all the options, additional options that your bus has. Like the bus behind me, it has aluminum wheels, it has air conditioning, it's got a chrome grille, it's got chrome air horns. All those things are great add-ons, and we need to know that so that we can list it on the online auction. That way the buyers see it and they'll pay more money for your bus. So the buyer's fee is a 16%, and that's if they use a credit card. Now, they can pay with a cashier's check or wire transfer or cash, and they get a 4% discount on that. But there is never a seller's fee on the auction, on the online auction. So if whatever the bus brings at auction, that's what the seller will get. So when a school bus is posted on the online auction, it also gets translated to several different avenues of advertising on the internet. Different websites like Commercial Truck Trader, Craigslist, gets put on Facebook. When a bus is posted on Facebook, we boost it to Central America, Mexico, and then also wherever the bus is located. If it's in a certain state, it's boosted in that state as well. Our website is very high in the search engines when you type in online bus auction. And the auction usually runs anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. The seller is welcome to set a reserve of whatever he would like to on the bus. If the auction closes and reserve is not met, we go into negotiating a higher offer for the seller. We'll keep going back and forth until we've exhausted all avenues and we have the highest price possible to take to the seller, because we want to get the bus sold, because that's the only way we get paid. So we are very motivated to get your bus sold. We require payment within 4 days after the auction is closed. All the pickup appointments are done through 422. They contact us, and then we contact the seller and say that this buyer has paid for this vehicle in full and he's ready to pick it up. What days can he pick it up? The first thing that the seller has to do at that point is get the title legally transferred. That's one of the most important steps in this whole process. And then once we receive a copy of that completed title, then we send payment. So over the last few years, we've really grown. Every day, we're attracting new buyers and new sellers to our online marketplace from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and it's growing every day.
You hear that? Different parts of the world.
So we've sold for some of the largest contractors in the country. First Student, we sell a lot of buses for First Student. Durham School Services. STA is probably our largest contractor right now that we sell for. We sell buses for them at the live auction and then also across the country and coast to coast we sell for them. Toledo School District and also Philadelphia School District. So we're always looking for new outlets to sell buses. We're looking for new groups of people to buy the buses that we have. And one thing that's really growing right now is a trend called schoolies. And these are people that buy a bus, convert it into a motorhome, and travel the country actually living in their bus. And we've focused a lot of our new advertising on this niche business because, like I said, in the last couple of years, this has really grown. These are very interesting people from different walks of life, and they're great craftsmen. They do great work to these buses. So our team is available anytime throughout the whole process of gathering the information if you have any questions about it. You guys are in the business of transporting school students, not in the business of selling school buses. That's where we come in. We want to make it as easy as possible for you. Because we sell to buyers from all over the world, we have Spanish translators on staff.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Liliana, ¿en qué le puedo ayudar?
Yeah, you could visit our website at www.422sales.com. You can learn anything you need to know about the company.
That's just one company, folks. That's just one company. One company. And the government didn't explore. I don't think they explore any of these. Because if they did, they would not pay the price or the prices that they pay. Now let me play you another video here.
Let me just go back in history. The JLP under Mike Henry tried to introduce a rural school bus system in 2011. We lost the election and Omar Davis locked it down. We had 230 buses that we were going to bring over 4 years with the first set of 65. And it was cancelled, the order for the 65, and it was scuttled on the basis that it was unsustainable and not affordable. In 2013, JUTC tried to do the same thing by putting 20 buses as a pilot for rural school bus, again, scuttled and locked down by the PNP. So this will be the third attempt And this one is not going to fail. What I can say to you very clearly and categorically is that they have gotten the backlash from the people of Jamaica. And now they are using their bloggers to spread mischief and propaganda because they can't open their mouth again. These are the facts. The 110 buses will arrive in Jamaica between now and the end of July. 26 are here and 14 are being cleared tomorrow. That puts us at 40. And the rest of them will come on weekly shipments from Miami over the next 3 weeks. So that is a done deal. The cost is $1.4 billion. The $1.4 billion covers the cost of the buses, the inland transport to get them to the ports in Miami, the freight, sea freight from Miami to Kingston, the retrofitting of the doors, and also the refurbishing. It also covers 1 year maintenance, which is going to be done under the strictest conditions, similar to what the Department of Transport stipulates for the states in the 52 states. So we're not moving away from that. It also is going to have the technology of a cashless system, fare collection system, and each bus is going to have 5 cameras. One for the driver, one to look at the kids, one for the geofencing, and all of those will be accessible by the schools. And last but not least, there's a duty component that we have to pay when the buses arrive here, which is factored in it as well. So here is where the mischief comes about, based on what they are posting and putting out there. The government of Jamaica only pays for the buses when the buses are arrived in Jamaica, landed and cleared.
Okay.
That's when we pay for the buses. So right now, we have only paid or in the process of paying for the first 26 buses. So the invoice that is being circulated is for 26 buses out of 110. And what they are doing is dividing the 26 buses into the $1.4 billion because they are dunce, they are dark, and they are stupid.
Okay. They're dunce, they're dark, and they're stupid. Jeffrey, go ahead.
Mr. Art, you can take off this one off the screen for me, please. Take him out. Beg you, please. Take off this pathologically mendacious individual who take the Jamaican people for a bunch of fools. Who you calling dunce?
Hold on a second, Jeffrey. Kevin, get me up top, please. I just want to pull down a document.
Which one there?
Hold on. The one that lays out the timeline for all of these initiatives. Hold on, Jeffrey. Hold the temperature right there. Hold it right there.
This despicable human being.
I think it's down, Kevin. Down the bottom. Yeah. All right, come up. Let me see something. No. Yeah. Click on that. Let me see. No. All right, hold on. Let me see this. I don't think it's that one. Yeah. No. Bear with me, people. There is something here.
Based on something Jeffrey just said.
You know, it's the document that lays out all the lays out the timeline for all of the initiatives to implement the rural school bus program. Because he gave 3 examples: 2011, 2013, and then he said the third one is 2025.
Keep coming. That would have been.
Hold on, let me see something.
Calling us stupid. Calling the Jamaican people stupid. You're not even finished high school properly.
He was saying the bloggers of the People's National Party. I don't know who those people are.
What bloggers?
Like I said, I don't know who those people are.
I'll send it again right now. There it is.
He's rude and out of order.
There it is. It's called a review of articles. Go to the boss and look at the receipt for me. Review of articles.
But here's the thing, Jeffrey. Considering that it does not apply.
There it is. All right, click on that. Jeffrey, go ahead. Finish now. Finish your thing. Say what you have to say about the
this pickle of human being who we have sitting in the parliament.
Tell us how you really feel, Jeffrey.
Who we have sitting in the parliament, who's a so-called minister of transportation. You're damn rude and out of order. How dare you call the Jamaican people fool? Who are you? Because we catch you what you're doing. We, the people of this country, catch you on your lies. You and Marlon Morgan is two liars. You can't come sue me now. You and Marlon Morgan is two pathological mendacious individuals. On a lying to the Jamaican people you died bars. You're a damn liar. How dare you call us when we were fools? Because we catch you in your act. We catch you in your act of what you're doing to the people of this country. You're damn out of order. Who the hell do you think he is? Mr. Rafi, you can go ahead, sir, because if I start seeing
okay. All right. Now, people remember what the minister said. He said in 2011. Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I was just about to say, call on Richard so that he can check Jeffrey's pulse and blood pressure while we continue.
They said you guys better check Jeffrey's blood pressure and check his pulse because he's going off the charts. But here's what, folks. Remember what the minister said. The minister said in that clip we just played. He said in 2011, his government or the JLP government, they had a contract for buses, 200 and something, and they were expecting 65, and that the PNP government they terminated it. Then he went on to say in 2013 there was a pilot with about 20 buses, and he said, no, this is the third attempt, 2025. Let's put what he said to the test. Here we go. Kevin, you can big this up to me.
Oh, you want to go bigger? Yeah, man, we can go a little bigger.
All right. And then now I need to see. I'm having problem. Oh, I'm problem. All right.
Let's go.
All right. Now, folks, here we go. Review of articles, and we're going to look through some articles. All right. Go up, Kevin. Go up a little bit more. Go up a little bit more. All right. Stop right there. Folks, you see, the first year, 2011, the JLP, they took over in October, and they had a plan for 230 buses. But it was never launched. They hired 65. They ordered 65. And that's the first one he mentioned. And he said the PNP government, they said because of pricing and all of that, they didn't want to, they killed the project. But look at the reason why in 2012. The PNP inherited the JLP's plan. We're giving the JLP credit saying that they started it in 2011. But look at what happened in 2012. The PNP inherited it, and they had to reject it because there was a deficit in JUTC of $8.3 billion. He didn't mention that. He's saying, go ahead and buy the buses. We don't have the money, but go ahead and, they should have bought the buses. That's a 2012. Then in 2013, the PNP started looking at having private people doing the project, having taxi drivers and so on and so forth, having them transport the children. Then in 2015, he didn't mention 2014, 2015. And we're going to show you that video. He didn't show you in 2014, 2015 that under the PNP, they started a pilot in Clarendon. And it got positive feedback, but there were operational issues. He didn't tell you that. He didn't tell you about 2016 when the PNP resisted safe buses in favor of, they're saying students resisted safe, no, the students resisted safe buses in favor of illegal taxes. The students didn't want to go on those buses in 2016. Then in 2016, March, JLP took power, February, March. And whatever existed was not scaled to the national level. Then now look at 2017, people. I needed to take a close look at 2017 because we're going to show you the article and we're going to ask the question, why is it that he did not, the JLP did not continue the program as envisioned by the PNP, but they came up with a new pilot. So they had a pilot, they had several pilots, two that we know of, and this is a third pilot. Why did the minister skip August 2017? You know why? Because $200 million was allocated for that program. And to date, we have no accounting for that $200 million. Think about that, people. He conveniently left out that one. Kevin, I want you to find the article for me there. Go on there. I want you to find the article for me. Go back to boss. I will find the article. He conveniently left out the one with 200 million, the one with Royal Reed, Grace McLean, and Dean Roy Bernard. Let me move this. Find that one for me, please, Kevin.
Sorry, the family was talking to me just now. What was that? Which one?
The article in 2017, March 2017, Dean Roy Bernard, Grace McLean, Royal Reed. Because the minister left that out. He mentioned 2011, 2013. He left out 2015. He left out 2012. But most importantly, he left out 2017. Keep going back. It's important, people, that we show you these things. It's not that one. No, you're going too far. Oh, slow down. All right, go. No. If you do it vertical, then go vertical and I can tell you which one.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Here it is. People, I want you to take a look at this. The one that this is, remember now, he left out 2015, He left out 2012. But most importantly, he left out this one. Go ahead, Kevin.
Put your camera down, we can hardly see you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. It was just because he repositioned in the heat of excitement.
Okay.
I'm going to have to leave you guys shortly.
All right, no problem. All right, hold on a second. Here it is, people. There it is. Look on the date. Why did Minister Bars leave out this one here?
You forgot.
Can you recognize those three people? Grace McLean, responsible for over 10 million given to a company when she was instructed that no more money was supposed to go to the company. Man on the right, Dean Roy Bernard, responsible for over 100 million given to the same company. It was an advisory company and they privatized it. And that 120 million plus gone. And who's in the center of it? Mr. Royal Reed. He's in court right now for over 50 million. Now, let's go on a little bit and look at this. You see the heading, pilot pilot. We had a pilot before. We had a pilot. They had a pilot. Remember he said, they had a pilot in 2011. Then there were considerations in 2012. Then 2013. Then a pilot in 2015. So when he told you that that September is going to be the third attempt, that's a damn lie. Let me show you something here. Where is, oh, hold on, go up.
You just passed it.
Help me with this thing, so I can't go for it. There it is right there, people. There it is. I'll read it out to you. The start date, they said September, but they made the announcement in August. They said September they're going to do it. And they're going to cover 8 parishes: St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James. 91 schools, and they're going to target half. And here's the purpose: to address student absenteeism. They said people are not coming. They can't make it to school. And they're going to tackle high rural transportation costs, provide safe, scheduled, and affordable student transport. And that will result in improved access to education for vulnerable students. And it will build towards a national school bus network. So it's a national initiative. And remember, we talk about the national initiatives working alongside the diaspora. Now, look how much money it costs. $200 million for year one. That's 2017. And they said, we have ongoing talks with diaspora and international partners to explain the project. So I said, Ruel Reed, them call him Raul Reed. Maybe somebody call him Cruel Reed. I don't know. He said the school bus project is one that we're very excited about. We haven't heard anything about these diaspora interventions. We haven't heard it. We haven't heard anything about the international cooperation. But look at what he said, 8 years later. 8 years later. Now remember now, Minister Vaz, one of the reasons he advanced for this purchase now, he said, was what? Emergency. Emergency. You tell me what's the emergency if they started this pilot 8 years ago and they didn't lose power. It's continuous power. They've been in power since 2016. This happened in 2017. Now they're coming up in 2025, an election year, and he said it's an emergency. I ask you people, I ask you kindly, and I also ask you to use your wisdom. Do a little analysis. Do a little soul searching. Do a little critical thinking. And tell me, if they started the pilot in 2017, why is there an emergency in 2025? I just want you to give me an honest answer.
You want to give an honest answer, sir? The honest answer, sir, $1.4 billion is burning my hand. I have to spend it and do what I have to do. 200 million is chicken feed.
No, but this is 200 million 2017 dollars. The exchange rate was more favorable then. And even if the exchange rate wasn't favorable, the question we're asking is, where's the accounting for that 200 million? And they said it was for year one. They said this is for the first phase. So we don't even know if there was a second phase, a third phase, a fourth phase. We don't know. Where is the money? Where is the accountability? Where are the resources? Minister Vaz, you must answer those questions. Don't come out here and he talks about people disingenuous. How come he didn't mention this? How come? You know why, people? Because it's not to his interest. It's not to his interest. And why have a sudden now it's an emergency? No. You know what's also an emergency?
The election.
Them can't fool we around here because we do our research. Come out and talk to us about 2017 and the 200 million. Let me move on, Kevin. And I don't know how many have seen this. Kevin is laughing. So it must be funny.
Listen, as you bring this on, The
promote
family is
one degree
calling.
per household.
Alright.
They sent Daryl Vaz to speak on it. Daryl Vaz can't count past 10, so I don't know how he might go to 1 million. That's why I call him bucket stopper Vaz. He might have to use like these bucket stoppers to count to 20. So he might have to say 11, 12, 13, and 14, lick him chest when he reach 9. So I don't know how them send Daryl Vaz to come talk about costing. If me I'm Daryl Vaz, I do maths, 100% we have a beat him. Because he can't do maths.
Hold on a second. I was just talking to my favorite minister, and this is what she said to me.
Something. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
He said, we must stop. We must stop. But that is what's going on, people. Truthful facts. Truthful facts. I mean, truthful facts.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
let me go back and play this video here. Hold on.
Vaz, the role that El Hydra played in the importation process and why they were selected as the logistics facilitator for the buses.
That may be available that would take time. Either time to manufacture, whatever it is. The bottom line is that we are not. And we made a decision also that whatever we were going to implement was a fit for purpose system, meaning buses that are specifically designed and manufactured for the safety of school children.
And speaking of that, Minister Vaz, on the matter of safety, the Gleaner reported yesterday as well that the pre-shipment inspection certificates were waived for the buses, with the trade board noting that the motor vehicle, allow me to finish and then I'll allow you to respond as well, that the Motor Vehicle Import Committee granted this under what they described as compelling circumstances. So I wanted to ask if the pre-shipment inspection certificates were waived and the compelling circumstances that led to this.
Absolutely. So I'll get to that. Let me just finish what I was saying. So phase one was what we called an emergency. And the quickest and easiest methodology was to bring them from the United States. The second phase is going to be to complete the rollout of the 600 and odd schools, because this is only 258. And now that we have this 110, we now have all the time to properly scour the globe and look at all the options that may be available that would take time. Either time to manufacture, whatever it is. The bottom line is that we are not sold solely on this methodology, because obviously it has its challenges in terms of the door and left-hand drive, etc. But this was a decision made to be in a position to roll out in September 25, and this was the only option available to meet the timeline. Mm-hmm. So I want to make that clear. So this is not the next phase doesn't have to be an extension of these buses, particular buses. We will now go and do the proper research, meaning spend the time to look through the globe, look at Asia, look at Europe, look at UK, look at all the jurisdictions and see what they do and what are the comparisons in terms of what we have in Jamaica. So I wanted to make that point. The other point that I want to make now is again reminding you my previous position, other than in my current position, which was in the automobile industry. The Department of Transport in the United States sets criteria for all states to follow in relation to the annual and in some cases biannual inspection of all school buses. Mm-hmm. Those are by certified persons, companies in each state that has the recognition of the Department of Transport. All of these buses have 2025 inspection, meaning that they have passed to be able to be fit and proper to run in the United States of America. Therefore, that is a specialized inspection for a specialized vehicle. Secondly, we sent a team up there from the ministry and JUTC engineers, because we have.
There's so much to talk about that he just mentioned. But let's go back to his comment about, what was it? Dark, dunce, dark, stupid. People, think about this. And I mentioned it last week, and it's worth mentioning again. When somebody like Mr. Vaz can say people dunce, dark, and stupid, we have to take him at his word, what he means. And what that is telling me is that it's coming from a place that is unkind. It's coming from a place that would appear to be based on class and colorism. Two black people speaking and one person said, uses the N-word. It's not the same as a white person using the N-word. Two Jamaicans speaking and two black Jamaicans speaking and one say you're dark and you're dunce and you're stupid. It's not the same thing as when a Darrell Vaz or someone similarly situated in color, class, influence, etc. say it. It's not. And Mr. Vaz, you need to retract that statement. Highly offensive. You know better. But then again, somebody might say, that's why you do it. That's why you do it. One of the reasons is because they can get away with it, because people won't challenge you. People won't challenge you. People won't challenge you. But there's so many things you've said. And remember, you're the same one, Mr. Vaz, who said what? You said that you're not in the class of people with big degrees and all of that stuff, but you have common sense. And you went on to say the Jamaican people have common sense. Very few, albeit very few. So you have common sense. You see, you don't have no degree, although we know you go to school of Florida, and we don't know if you didn't get a degree. But let's say you didn't get a degree, but now you have common sense. So you're equal with the people with the big degrees. Taking that argument to its logical conclusion, if you don't have a degree, and most people in Jamaica do not have a degree, and if only very few of them have common sense, then the rest of them dunce, dark, and stupid. That's what he said. That's what he said. And he's thinking this. And because these are his thoughts, these are his beliefs, him can do whatever he want to do, and there'll be no opposition. There'll be no opposition. This is how he thinks about the Jamaican people writ large, that you're dunce, dark, and stupid. And that's why him can go and pull off the scheme. That's why him can go and buy buses for 5,000, 6,000, whatever it is. And by the way, you said the invoice that they show, that invoice, we now know, we now believe that that invoice is the cost for the purchase and the shipment. And if you purchase and ship, and some of these buses, you see them there for $6,000, $9,000, $10,000. And they do that. How much money do you think they're going to spend now to repurpose these buses? Or as them, when them call them, Jeffrey, when them say, when them move the door from one side.
Retrofit.
Retrofit. How much money they going to cost for that? Remember now, we know. Remember now, when you take 110 or a 1.4 billion divided by 110, the number of buses, you get the price for each. Almost 80,000 US dollars. So now if the buses come to Jamaica and they land on the shores of Jamaica, they're driven in Jamaica to wherever they store them, everything is copacetic, everything is fine. The bus is 20,000. Where is the 60,000 per bus? Here is the 60,000 per bus. And we know that you can get bus for free over here. You can get bus for $1. You can get bus for 3,000, 1,500. Come on, Mr. Vaz. Come on. Jeffrey, come in before I put up this next this thing here.
You know, Mr. Rattigan, there's some dark days ahead of us in this country. And I'm going to publicly say this afternoon. They already dub you and I comrades. I really don't care. Let me say this. If the Jamaican people...
You know what, people? Our sister, the dietitian, she came into the and she bring me Jeffrey. I don't need to cut it.
Yes.
Bring me stuff from Jamaica, right? She bring me stuff from Jamaica, sorrel, so we can draw some sorrel. And she bring me a whole bunch of tea.
Ginger tea.
Bag. And she bring me this. And it says, your logo, her company logo, it says, never throw in the towel. Like that. Use it to wipe off. Never throw in the tunnel. So you can call me when you want to call me, but you can't stop me from enjoying my sorrel and drinking my tea and wipe off my car with this. You can't stop me. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
And, you know, when you hear this man come out and said what he said about we, the Jamaican people, the people of Portland, let me speak to you now. Daryl Vaz has called every single Jamaican dumb, stupid, dark, fool, whatever you want to call it. We, the Jamaican people, must send a clear message to Daryl Vaz when the time of the election. It cannot continue like this. How on earth must we have a minister calling us? You know why he call us? You know why he call us dark and dumb? Because when he realized that members of the Jamaican diaspora consist of the fearless leader himself, Wilfred Samuel Rattigan, who hailed from Waterhouse, decide that no, this school bus saga mustn't go so. When we're gonna come to the depth of it to find out the truth. And the more we dig, is the more Riverton don't get stink and stinker. So all he can do is call us stupid. But we're not stupid. You are the stupid one because we catch you red-handed. We catch you in what you're doing. And we're calling it a spade. We're calling it out. So enough is enough. And for you to be calling us all sorts of names, it's not here and not there with us, you know. Because we, the Jamaican people, we will not surrender to none of them. This country belongs to we, the Jamaican people, not the PNP, not the JLP, not Daryl Vaz, not Deadman Mackenzie. Not true honest. It belongs to us, the Jamaican people, and we're going to continue to speak truth to power. We're going to continue to dig deeper into this school bus saga. It's the biggest scam in the history of this country. Mr. Rattigan, over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Time is just at a premium right now, so we are going to run. People, remember now, we know, this company called El Hydro, them get the contract. And so we're going to look into El Hydro, right? And by the way, there's going to be a part 4, you know, of this story here, because there's so much. We're not finished yet. We'll do a part 4. But for the time we have remaining, we're going to touch into El Hydro because they got the contract to do what? According to what we're hearing, to facilitate the buses coming into Jamaica. What does that mean? I don't understand what that means. So let's explore that. All right, here we go. Now, if I can, Kevin, dig up left my people and have a problem I get. All right, here we go. I got it. There. All right. See that? an investigative analysis of Jamaica's rural school bus procurement. And the first question is, who is El Hydro? Let's take a walk down that path. Now, El Hydro, put it up here. You can see that, Jeffrey? Everybody can see that?
Yes, sir. Down to very Floyd Mars, Senator Floyd Mars can see it.
Okay, all right. I don't know about that, but if you say it, it must be true. Now, look, folks. El Hydro is not. Oh, by the way, Minister Vaz said El Hydro is a dealer for the two types of buses. And when we look, we saw three types of buses, you know. We didn't see two. He's mentioning Thomas and Bluebird. But there's also International and there's Freightliner. So it's not even three, it's four. And we say Freightliner. But anyway, he said that El Hydro is affiliated with these bus companies as a dealer for the Caribbean. We went to the website and the Bluebird said, we don't have nobody in Jamaica as our dealer. Then we went to Thomas and Thomas said, we do have a dealer, but the dealer's name is not El Hydro.
Lie them lie. Mr. Lie them lie.
Right? So we did that. So we can say El Hydro, look at this. El Hydro is a Jamaican registered company operating out of Montego Bay that deals in industrial lubricants, chemicals, oils, and greases. Where is their involvement in the importation of vehicles? I don't see it. And so our analysis shows that El Hydro Limited is not an authorized manufacturer dealer for school buses in the region. There is no evidence whatsoever to support such a designation. That's what we're seeing. If that is not true, prove it to us. Now, El Hydro has two people listed. We have Tanya Morgan and we have Philip Scott. Let me go on. Now, El Hydro, they patented a hydrogen energy source. Has nothing to do with the importation of vehicles. And this gentleman, Philip Scott, in 2014, they're saying that he invented and patented this hydrogen-based energy system. And here it says, March 28, 2014, El Hydro can be a sole source of power or alternatively used to supplement fuel use in residential or commercial buildings, combustible engines, machinery, commercial appliances, heating and cooling systems, power plants, gas or diesel turbines, generators, domestic and commercial vehicles. Where does it say that El Hydro is involved in the importation of vehicles? Where?
You know, Mr. Rattigan, when you the more we dig deeper in this thing, you know, sir, is the more we catch the minister in his act. And the minister cannot come clean to the people of this country. It look like you and having to set up a chemical company, you know, and start importing buses.
Well, we're going to talk about that as far as the diaspora's involvement in getting some of these buses to Jamaica. We're going to talk about that later on. But look at what he said. So Scott said that the system is adaptable to use in light and heavy duty machinery, tractor trailers, boats, ships, and even aircraft. And he said that he had been operating retrofitted vehicles in New York using the El Hydro system for 2 years prior to the interview. And he said the project consumed millions of dollars as well as a few business partners who lost the appetite to stay the course. And the research and development took more than a decade. He said retrofitted vehicles in New York. He had been operating retrofitted vehicles in New York using the system. We found no evidence of that prior to 2014 or past those early efforts. So He got 2 contracts. We have 2 contracts we're looking at. With JUTC, the oil filtration system and the biodiesel fuel supply 2020-2021. And the contracts came up to a grand total of 553 million Jamaican dollars, $500 million Jamaican dollars. And there it is that the JUTC, they were going to use this system on their buses. Oh, you see the 2 people there. You know both of them. One of them is in court right now. He's being prosecuted for activities over at the Ministry of Education. Let's go down some more. Yeah, they're saying that his system was going to improve the performance of buses, but nothing to do with the importation of buses. And we have people, we have a long list of people who are registered to deal with the importation of used vehicles, and yet they were overlooked. Let me go down some more. So he's supplying vehicles here. Then we see real estate. Now, Philip Scott is a company called Philanco Corporation, and he serves as CEO of this company, which is registered in Jamaica and New York. And it says Philanco engages in real estate development, private equity, utilities, and renewable energy projects. And his partners are Tanya Morgan, Dunbar McFarlane. Where does it say that he's involved in the importation of used buses, used vehicles? And then in 2014, this same company, Philanco, they submitted a bid to redevelop the Palmyra condominium complex in Rosal. And most of you, if you don't know, you should know that there's a very prominent minister who owns, from what I've been told, a very expensive apartment overlooking the Caribbean Sea.
Yes.
Very in Rosal. We'll get to that, Minister, soon. Now, in that one of those deals, it says McFarlane declined to name the persons behind Philanco, but a search identifies the directors as Tanya Morgan Porter and Mr. Philip Scott of New York. Let's go on a little bit more. The Palmyra deal didn't happen. An offer was made for $60 million US, with another $60 million to be used for the first phase of development. But according to the Gleaner, it fizzled. And Philanco withdrew its offer. Now we can go to school bus now. Now according to the Gleaner, this company, Elijah, is not certified as a new or used motor vehicle dealer. And so they came under the radar through a government-issued waiver and through an indirect licensing agreement. And if you remember, the Minister Vaz, said it was an unsolicited bid or unsolicited request. Now let's go down and look at some of these letters here. Jamaica Trade Board. Remember that this letter was sent to Mr. Vaz, and it was sent to Mr. Vaz from Mr. Danville Walker, who's chairman of the Jamaica Trade Board. And you see what it says right there. Permission to import 110 buses, and approval has been granted to El Hydro to import 110 buses on behalf of the ministry. Right? And if you look at the reference line says permission to import 110 new buses. New. What that means, people, when they say the reference, and we talked about that last week. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
I like when you said we must look at the reference. And I know you're going to talk, we talked about last week. The minister kept saying to the Jamaican people, new buses. So tell me something, Mr. Rattigan. In your legal mind, sir, I am no legal person. When you hear this now, and the 110 bus that came in, it's 110 old buses. Isn't there some legal ramification in this? Or somebody to go to prison for this?
Well, at the very least, it's misrepresentation because look, the reference will govern the body of the communication. Because when you look at this, this is okay. What is the topic? What is this letter addressing? And the letter is addressing 110 new buses. So anything below is going to be determined by the reference. So if they put buses below, the reference is new buses, unless they say below old buses, and then we have a conflict. But there's no conflict here when you read this. They'd want to give you the idea that there's no conflict because, or they'll say it's a mistake, but somebody inadvertently put new, but then in the body, it doesn't say new. Somebody thought about the word NEW and they wrote it.
But Mr. Rattigan, the minister himself, at no time at all, if my memory serves me correctly, ever mentioned old used buses.
Look, Jeffrey, the very first line of this letter, the body of the letter, it says, this letter serves to confirm receipt of your correspondence dated May 20, 2025. Whose correspondence? Honorable Darrell Vaz,
Minister of
we want to see that correspondence, because if that correspondence says new buses, then this is over. This is over. Why would they put new buses if his letter didn't mention new buses?
Buses.
Reference line.
And hold on, Mr. Rattigan. Hold on, Mr. Rattigan. And when they asked him about it, he said it's some administration type error. He said it.
Okay. So if it's no, but here's the thing: if it appears on his letter, how come they didn't realize it back then?
Thank you.
How come they're only realizing it now when it's come to the public's attention? How come? So I have filed an ATI asking for that letter, that May 20th letter, that minister. I remember Minister Vaz says that he's putting all the papers together. He has nothing to hide.
Yes.
And remember, he was the same one who said there's nothing is a secret for politicians in Jamaica. He said that in reference to the Mark Golding's something having his immigration status, passport, right, whatever, nationality, citizenship, something of that nature.
And that's what Mr. Rattigan, the minister himself said that he's willing to come on any program.
I invited him. I've invited him twice, sir.
On any program.
I've invited him twice.
Darrell Vaz, you need to address the Jamaican people and the Jamaican diaspora. You, Darrell Vaz, the word minister, in case you don't know, because you look like you don't go to school, you call we dunce, but look like you're more dunce than we.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
You call we dunce. But you're duncer than we. The word minister in Latin means servant of the people of this country. You need to address this situation here. So you need to come on this program and address members of the Jamaican diaspora. Who the hell do you think it is?
So we have problems right here, people. 110 new buses, and we know of the invoice that we looked at with the 26 buses, 25 of which left the port of Miami bound for Jamaica, and 1 from Port Canaveral. None of them could ever be considered new.
Because
none of them could be considered because they were manufactured in 2010, 2011, 2016. We don't have the 2025 on that list.
When we check the VIN numbers, Mr. Rattigan, nothing there is new. with the 2 flatbed truck. There is 2 flatbed truck in there, Darren Vaz. We need to know those 2 flatbed trucks. What are those? Are those school buses? Are they water trucks for Portland? Who own those 2 flatbed trucks, Darren Vaz, and you send from Jamaica?
Chassis, the Freightliner chassis. I don't know what became of the chassis because the annotation in the federal database says that this is not an accurate representation of the vehicle because it could have been altered.
So why would they alter?
Once it left the factory, they put on a body upon it, you know. Put on something.
And that's what Mr. Rattigan. He asked for an exempt letter for 3 of them.
Hold on, we're getting to that. You're ahead of the game, Mr. Jeffrey Tavares. Are you a prophet, sir? You must be a prophet. You're reading your mind.
Our friends, I love to talk in tongues. You know, like I talk in tongues this evening. Who stole the school bus money?
This one here now, written by Miss Althea Matthews. And she's sending it to the managing director of A1 Car International. They're shipping. They're the one. We must call A1 and find out how much them cars will ship. But that's fine. Another story for another day. Look at the reference line, people. The reference line says they're asking for a waiver of pre-shipment inspection requirement for racing cars. And that's it, Jeffrey. Let me big it up. Man. Look good for me.
School buses, man. It says school buses.
You sure? No, man. No, man. It couldn't say school buses, Jeffrey.
Yes, man. It says school
waiver
buses.
of pre-shipment inspection requirement for scooter.
No. It says school bus.
Hold on a second. It says waiver of pre-shipment inspection requirement for trucks.
No, it says school buses.
All right, I'll take your word for it. School buses. And it says, please be advised that permission has been granted to whom? El Hydro, the same company we're involved in a real estate and chemicals. No evidence of them bringing in school buses previously.
But Mr. Rattigan, my question too is this. Which company in the United States gonna send buses to Jamaica without getting payment before they send the buses? The minister said that the buses were gonna land in this country without any money being paid.
Yes, he said they pay for the buses when the buses arrive in Jamaica. And if you are in the business of selling used vehicles from overseas to Jamaica, I don't think you're going to let those vehicles out of your sight until you get your money. But be that as it may, see what the reference says: waiver of pre-shipment inspection requirement for school buses. So what it's telling you is that there's a pre-shipment requirement. There is a pre-shipment requirement for school buses. At least that's what that's saying. It doesn't say whether it's new or old. It just says we're asking for waiver. You're going to see where we're going with this conversation. First sentence. Please be advised that permission has been granted to El Hydro. Granted. So they gave it to El Hydro to ship the following motor vehicles without the required pre-shipment inspection. So now we see that these vehicles coming in, they should be inspected before shipped to Jamaica. Right? Look at the very first one. Chevy Express. What does it say? New.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the next one. Thomas Bus. What does it say?
New.
New. Look at the third one. Chevy Express again. New.
New.
Well, folks, we don't have time to go back and do, but we checked the federal database using the VIN numbers. Because remember, I love to talk about him being the minister. Loves to talk about that the US system is the gold standard and they've done this and the inspection. And we know that he wasn't telling the truth. He was disingenuous because the federal government does not get involved in the inspection of school buses. They get involved with the design and the manufacturing as far as safety and function and function.
Mr. Rattigan.
They get involved with that. They don't get involved with the inspection of school buses. It's largely left to state and local authorities, not the federal government.
Mr. Rattigan, why are you using this word ingenuous? So
This
the
is
man is a liar, no disingenuous. The man is a pathological liar. Darrell Vaz lied to the Jamaican people and continue lying to the Jamaican people about these buses. Huh? And we must take it because we're a bunch of idiots. When we check these VIN numbers on these buses, they are not new buses. The two of them, the two of them, when we check the two chassis number, one of them is a chassis bed, a truck chassis bed, whatever I want to call it. And the other one is another chassis bed again, a truck chassis bed. So we're asking the question, is it that Mr. Vaz or whosoever bringing his truck, are they for some water truck business? Huh? Starting again, I don't know, sir. It is no.
Yes, so what happened, folks, is that you see all this thing where them say new, they're not new. We check them out. The 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. Nowhere near 2025. But the letter went out saying that they're new, unless new means something that I'm not aware of. Or maybe NEW means something I'm not aware of. If that is the case, I stand corrected. But if NEW in these instances means that the buses, the vehicles are new, then that's a lie. That's a lie. At least in 2025, when this letter was written, it's a lie because the buses, the bus I think is 2010, 2011, and the Chevy Express they're like 20. I don't think anything of them. I don't think any one of them is over 2015. So that's where we are. So we want to send this letter as well, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Documents required to import motor vehicle or motorcycle, and here are the documents you need. You're required to apply to the trade board for an import license. It's right there, and it's the same trade board that tell them, say, yes, Mr. Vaz, you have the permission. The El Hydro is going to bring in the 110, and then the other one where the lady said to the company shipping the things, the 3 vehicles, yes, you don't have to do pre-inspection shipment or pre-shipment inspection. Well, you don't have to pre-inspection certificate. You don't need that. And look at what it says. If you're importing a used vehicle, it must be inspected and issued with a pre-inspection certificate from the country of export. Was that done in this case?
Hold on. What he said in Mr. Rattigan, he said that the American Safety Board, or whatever they want to call it, Transport Safety Board, inspect the buses for 2025. Those buses are from junkyard. And he told the Jamaican people, Darrell Vaz, the member of Parliament for East Portland and West Portland, tell the Jamaican people that the American Safety School, whatever they call it, Transport Safety Board, inspect the buses. And the tags are on it. And Mr. Sir, him, sister, and we can't find the clipping.
Well, then they asked for an exemption. So, you know, okay, some good question. G.A. Farmer says, can you explain why the chief director in charge of procurement resigned? Very good question. Very good question, but let's finish this up. Says here, motor vehicle import permit procedures. And it says, as an individual, you can bring in 2 motor vehicles every 3 years. And you must be a Jamaican resident and so on and so forth. Tells you what you can do. Now a business, says a business like El Hydro, you fall into 2 categories. And non-dealer companies, that would be El Hydro. And they don't have a dealer's license or a certificate. It says you are only allowed up to 3 motor vehicles every 3 years. So how come we have an invoice with El Hydro? How come we have a letter saying El Hydro is going to be responsible or involved in the importation of these vehicles on behalf of the government 110 times. 110 vehicles.
But
When you're only allowed 3 every 3 years. The average year is one a year. 3 every 3. You can bring in 3 1 year, and then you can't bring in any more for another 2 years. For that first, you bring in 3 for that first year. The other two, you can't bring in any. Or you can space it however you want it. 1 1 1. But the limit is 3 every 3 years. Now, if you're a certified motor vehicle dealer, allowed any category and quantity. Now, here's how they said. See, the key word here is resale. They said, well, Elijah was not bringing in, these buses are not for resale, so therefore it doesn't really follow. But that is not the governing part of this provision. The governing part of it is the bullet point above, because we know that El Hydro is a non-dealer company, and therefore El Hydro is only allowed up to 3 motor vehicles every 3 years, not 110 in 1 year. So when they come and they tell you about the second bullet point, say, oh, you know, certified motor vehicle dealers allowed any category and quantity for resale, and therefore it wasn't for resale, and therefore El Hydro, and they try the twist and they turn themselves into pretzels. But people, don't be distracted, because that is not the governing provision. The governing, because El Hydro is not a certified motor vehicle dealer. El Hydro is a non-dealer, is considered a non-dealer. Here it says, businesses importing motor vehicles fall into 2 categories, and 2 categories only. Non-dealer, certified. El Hydro is a non-dealer, therefore they're allowed only up to 3. But they were granted an exemption to bring 110. And then we go here, can damaged vehicles be imported into Jamaica? We don't know about, no. See that? The importation of vehicles that are damaged or salvaged cannot be brought into Jamaica. We don't have the record of these buses to see if they were involved in accidents, if they put them together in a junkyard. We don't know. We really don't know. So we could go to the school buses section now. Well, on the Jeffrey. Here it is now, people, and we've been mentioning this all along. Why was Elijah Limited put in charge of school buses? And what's it put in charge of? They're involved in it. The letter from the appropriate agency said it, that they were granted permission to bring in these buses. Elijah sells industrial oils, greases, and chemicals, not motor vehicles. And somehow this company had a contract to import 110 school buses into Jamaica. And it's right there on the screen. Serious questions. Why was a non-dealer awarded a contract of this scale when a non-dealer is only allowed 3 buses over a period, or 3 vehicles over a period of 3 years?
And not only that, Mr. Sorry, go ahead, finish, go ahead.
And the other one, why did they bypass certified, experienced vehicle dealers? And I know some of them, I've spoken to some of them, and they're very upset about this. Why were they bypassed? And they were already operating in Jamaica. They have the know-how, they have the contacts, they have the experience. They could have done this. Question is, who approved this and why? Now we know that there's a letter. There's a letter there saying that it was done, but we don't know if that person is the person who actually did it. Now, to your point, pre-shipment inspection waive. It says Minister Vaz stated that all buses carry the 2025 U.S. inspection stickers. Therefore, it was not necessary to do pre-shipment inspection.
Lie.
I'll leave it to your own judgment.
Lie.
What's the problem? Here's a problem. In the U.S., school bus inspection certificates are valid for 12 months. So a 2025 inspection decal means the bus was inspected when, Jeffrey? 2024.
Lie.
Or going into 2025.
But hold on, Mr. Rockigan. But if the bus are 2010, How the hell can they have 25 inspection stickers on them?
No, what they're saying is that they were inspecting them. They inspected the buses, the function, and you know when you carry your car go get inspected, right? It don't really matter the year, them just inspect it and then stick on a sticker. But the sticker is for the upcoming 12 months, right? So here's the thing. If a 2025 inspection decal means the bus was in, it means the bus, no. If since it's valid for 12 months, the only way you could have get around that, you'd have to go take your vehicle like December 31st, 2024. And then you can say, well, then, boy, them have 2025 sticker because it was a run over in a 2025. But here's the thing. It means the buses were, but what that means is that the vehicle would have been inspected in 2024, right? If the inspections had truly happened in 2025, the buses would have had 2026 stickers. when we go inspect, when do the inspection and whatever, that's how them do it. You go inspect it at 2025 and the sticker is 2026, meaning that's when it expires. Right? Vaz said he was saving taxpayers money, yet he claimed a team of engineers and the ministry officials went to the US to inspect the buses anyway at taxpayers' expense. So we're asking in our ATRs, who went?
And not
the cost. How long they stayed? Where did they go? Who did they talk to? Where is the report? We're asking for all of these things.
And not only that, Mr. Rattigan, if the minister said that a team of JUTC mechanics and officials went to the United States, the last time I checked, not because Darrell Vaz used to own a used car company. Darrell Vaz is a mechanic. Why didn't he use the JUTC mechanic to explain to GIS cameras men about the engine of the buses? When he was out, they said, oh, this is a Thomas engine bus and this whatever. Why didn't you make the JUTC mechanics explain to the Jamaican people? Why you, minister, doing it?
The experts were there. And a dear friend of mine who's in the automotive industry explained to me that if you buy a bus from Florida and you're going to use that bus in the hills of St. Mary, you're going to have to change the differential, because the differential for a bus designed to run on flat surfaces is a different differential they're going to have to use when they have to go climb hill. And they said it wouldn't make sense for you to change the differential in a 2010, 2011 bus. It wouldn't make any sense. It's prohibitively expensive to do that.
So, Mr. Rattigan, pretty soon, the Jamaican people will be seeing all of these school buses along the road brought down, can't move, and 1.4 billion are gone like some amount.
And I'm telling you that I've never looked at school buses the way I'm looking at them now. Every time I see one now, I know I'm almost an expert. I can't tell you whether it's a freight line or whether it's an international, whether it's Thomas, whether it's Bluebird. I can tell you now simply because of what the minister did. Right? Now look at this. It says, let's ask the obvious question. If the goal was really to save money, Minister Vaz, why didn't they award the contract to a certified procurement company that knows what it's doing? Why? And listen to this. The invoice we have, it comes from a company out of Chicago called Triari Advisors LLC. Right? It's a US-based company listed as the exporter of at least the 26 ones that we're looking at. And their business is consulting. So we want to know, what is their role? Are they freight handlers? Are they brokers? Are they middle people getting paid? We saw where they said that they have a reseller's license in Illinois. And a reseller's license is when you buy something and you're going to sell it.
Yeah.
So that's passed on certain taxes and things like that. So are we saying that Triari purchased the vehicles and then sold them to the Jamaican government? There's a lot to be ferreted out there. We have a lot more work to do, people. That's why we're going to have part 4. Was this about moving? Buses are moving money, people. Here we go. The question is this. Oops. How many persons, companies are really involved in this 1.4 school bus initiative? How many? At best, this looks like sloppy mismanagement, but we know it's because this is not sloppy mismanagement. This appears to be intentional and deliberate, knowingly and intelligently. This doesn't appear to be, dumbos running around. Oh, by the way, remember now, they either have degrees or they have common sense, and the rest of us, we have nothing. Idiots. But what we know is that it has resulted in waste. It has resulted in abuse of the law. And therefore, at this point, we're calling on the Auditor General to conduct an audit. And you know why, people? Because the Auditor General has the authority. She has the authority to recommend a surcharge action to the financial secretary in the Ministry of Finance and Public Service. And we're saying, let's look at the invoices, let's look at all the documentation, and where we see that we have overspent, we must issue that surcharge action against the people responsible. And if I didn't hear the minister speak, I would say he had nothing to do with it. And you know why? Because when you read the law, it says that the person really in charge of procurement in the ministry is the permanent secretary. However, in this ministry, Mr. Vaz's ministry, the person responsible for procurement is the chief technical director for corporate services. And what do we know about that person and that position? That position was advertised about a week and a half ago. And if you look it up, you'll see where they say the position is vacant. What happened to that gentleman? The timing is very suspicious. But he's gone. His job is advertised. We need to know answers to these questions. And that's why, people, we cannot let these stories be 9-day wonders. My dear friend, Mr. Tavares, and I were speaking to a devout, and I won't use the word diehard, a devout JLP supporter who's a dear friend of ours who's watching this program. We love him to death. We've had some very, very lively conversations with him. And when I mentioned to this gentleman about fertilizer, you know what he said to me? He said, all-time story, that man, that done and gone. And I said to him, if that's the attitude, then corruption will continue to be pervasive in Jamaica. Because when we look at it, we said 9 days gone by, done and gone, forget about it, let's move on to another one. People, we cannot let this happen. We simply cannot let this happen. And as long as there's a Jeffrey Tavares and there's a Wilfred Rattigan, it won't happen. And there are others as well. It's not just the two of us. Plenty other people in the space doing what we're doing. And we commend them and we embrace them. Because we're all in the fight to save the Jamaican people from these bloodsuckers. These people who call themselves servants, but they serve only themselves and their compadres and their family members. They don't serve the people they claim to represent. So we are going to continue with this story. There's a lot more. I look up here and I can go left. I can take this story anywhere I want to take it. And anywhere I take it, we're going to end up right back here. We're going to end up in a position where we're asking questions. Where did the money go? Why was the contract issued to this person? Who is this person up in Chicago? Why did the minister involve himself in the procurement process when he's not supposed to be. The procurement process in his ministry is handled by the Chief Technical Director for Corporate Services, who reports directly to whom? The Permanent Secretary.
Permanent Secretary.
Yes, the minister is not mentioned in the law when it comes to procurement. He's not mentioned. So it was easy. The minister could have easily said, I don't know anything about this. I have to go talk to the Permanent Secretary. But what did the minister say? The minister said, no, I might think this, and I'm paraphrasing him. He knows about this. And who is out there talking all the time about this? It's him. And what is he doing? He's justifying something that cannot be justified. He's defending the indefensible. And then on top of that, my people, on top of that, here is one of the most wicked acts. They take your money, claims to them go buy used buses. Remember now, take your money, claims to them go buy brand new second hand. That's what them claims to them go buy. And we know so them are not brand new second hand. Them are not even brand new third hand. I all bust them. We know this. But then them turn around and say, okay, the children will ride for free. Who said that? The chief servant of Jamaica. He said that, and to be accurate, he was talking about in St. Thomas. He said, ride for free. And since then, we have heard from Minister Vaz and we have heard from MP Bobby Montague. And what did they say? They picked them going to have to pay. No. Mr. Montague, when he said that, he might have been referring to his constituency. But then think about this, Mr. Montague. Why is it that your constituency should pay $100 a day and then a constituency in St. Thomas pay $0? Why? And then on top of that, and I'm going to end with this. The man mentioned, Savaz mentioned about Miss Matty, who would have to make choices between our children. And so she couldn't send, she couldn't send 6 or whatever the number is, so she would have. No, she can't send 4 because it's subsidized. That's what she's saying. That's what I'm saying. What I do understand is that Miss Matty cannot afford $400 a day to send her picnic them go to school. This is how wicked these people are. This is how wicked they are. But I tell you, Mr. Vaz and your collaborators, don't worry about Miss Matty Pickney. Worry about Miss Ratty Pickney. Mr. Tavares, over to you, sir.
Take off this screen from it, Mr. Rattigan. I want everybody to see us. And I want you to repeat what you said a while ago before we go. We have a minute. Don't worry about who or about Miss who.
Don't worry about Miss Matty. Picking them.
Worry about who?
Ratty Pickney.
There you go. My last thing is this. Mr. Vaz, you did not put this procurement out there in the Gleaner for anybody to bid for it. It's not in the Gleaner. I've checked. I don't see it in there. The Jamaican people who's watching us. Wilfred Radigan, with Reason Radigan, and make we talk with Jeff Tavares. So I'm not here to bring down any government. We're not a member of any political party. We're not a blog of the People's National Party or a blog of the Jamaica Labour Party. We are Jamaicans. And Jamaica come first for every single one of us on this platform here. Jamaica come first. And I say to the Jamaican people tonight, do not let this be a 9-day wonder. Continue to speak about it in election after election. We must speak the truth. And somebody must go jail for this. Bus after bus after bus, jail after jail after jail. Thank you all for joining us.
Surcharge.